하지 말고 내게 Why need you I love you so much Come to me my girl 다리 아파도 힘들어도 조금 더 같이 있고 싶어 Why need you I love you so much Come to me my girl 네가 힘들 때 한번 업어줄게 우린 너 내 거야 너 알잖아
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you some DIY K-pop desk decor. Since I'm going to college this year, I wanted to revamp my whole desk, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get on with the video. An easy way to just spice up your desk is by using some block letters. So first I started out by getting 3 block letters that spelled out Jin, and then I didn't really like the color of the block letters, so I decided to paint it all pink. It took me 2 to 3 coats to make it all opaque, and once all your letters are painted on and dried, I decided to grab my puffy paint and made little dots all around the letters. And then you're going to let that dry, and then basically you're done. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to make this Astro reward garland. So first I decided to grab all my pictures and cut it all into squares to make Polaroid pictures. And then I cut those all out, and then I grabbed my pictures, and because my pictures are a bit too big, I decided to cut them down to size. And then I used my ruler to measure out how far I want my picture to be cut. And then I decided to cut it, and I did this to all my pictures. And once I had all my square pieces done and all the photos cut out, I decided to grab my hot glue gun and decided to glue them all into place. And after you have all your Polaroid pictures done, you're just going to grab some twine and cut it to the measure you want. And then I grabbed 3 Polaroid pictures and I put them all face down and hot glued the twine onto the back of each. And you should have something like this. So I don't know about you guys, but I am a huge procrastinator when it comes to being assignments done on time. So what I did here is I grabbed some post-it notes and put on little rewards for myself once an assignment is done. So basically once an assignment is done, you can grab a post-it note and reward yourself afterwards. One of the post-it notes that I wrote down was take a nap or watch a K-drama. You can put anything you want on them and you can reward yourself afterwards, and that's it. To make this a very easy EXO inspired coaster, you are first going to print out a logo. I decided to print out the EXO Lucky One logo and then cut it all out. And then you can grab any cardstock that you like, and I traced around a circle using a circular object. And then I grabbed my hot glue gun and hot glued the logo onto the cardstock. And then I decided to trace it around the cork board and cut that out. And then I peeled off the cork board and put the cardstock on top. And then to seal everything in, you're going to grab some packaging tape and place it on top of the cardstock. And make sure to smooth it out. And then cut off any unnecessary tape that is left over, and that's it. To make this storage holder to hold in anything like headphones, phone charger, and anything that you like, I decided to get a picture of Jin and cut that all out. And then I grabbed this little graduation box that I had and got some cardstock and traced it all around. And then I cut that all out and then I glued it onto the box. And once all the sides are glued on with some cardstock paper, I decided to paint the inside of the box green so it can match with the cardstock paper. This took me 2 to 3 coats so it can dry completely. I then grabbed my Jin picture and hot glued it onto the box, and that's it. To make this K-pop inspired pinboard and whiteboard that you can put reminders on, pictures, scribble on, or anything that you like that will make you motivated and inspired, you are first going to grab a cork board and a whiteboard. I got these from Target at the dollar section, and I was really lucky because these were the last two. So anyways, you can just put anything you want. You can have some washi tape, some pictures, just anything you like. I decided to place some pictures of my biases. And then I decided to put my garland up as well. And then I added some sticky notes as reminders for myself. And then I added some little picture drawings as well. I will put a link down below if you guys want to check these out. And then for my whiteboard, I also put around some washi tape and put the other side of the garland as well. And then with some washi tape, I put some BTS photos and some post-it notes. You can go all out, it's up to you, and that's it. To make your very own DIY K-pop desk calendar, so the first thing you're going to do is to cut out 2 rectangular poster boards and trace it out onto some cardstock paper. And then next you're going to grab some white cardstock paper and measure out how big you want the calendar to be on the bottom. I used my image as reference. And once I know how large I want the calendar to be, I measured out a rectangle so then I could put it onto my calendar. I then cut that out and arranged everything into place. And then I grabbed my hot glue gun and glued everything so that it can go on. And then I made some more dashes on the bottom and the top of the calendar, and I connected both of them so it could be the days of the month. Once it's sturdy enough to hold on its own, you are finished. To make this BTS monster plant holder, all you're going to do is grab a soda bottle and clean it inside and take off the label. And then you're going to measure off how tall you want your BTS monster plant holder to be. And then you're going to grab some scissors, and I don't suggest to use a knife because I almost cut myself while doing this, but you're just going to cut off where you marked off. I then grabbed some foam and cut it out so it could be nicely placed inside. And with some white paint, I painted it onto the bottle, and it took me 2 to 3 coats to finally make it opaque. I then used a picture I found on my phone to draw it onto the bottle. That way when we use the paint, we can paint over it. I then grabbed some black paint and painted over the drawing that we just did. I then hot glued the green foam inside the bottle and then stuck some flowers in it, and it should look like this. To make these BTS quote pencils, you are first going to print out a quote that you like and make sure it's very tiny so it can fit onto the pencil, and then you're going to grab some tape and put it over the quote. And make sure the tape is very stuck on to the quote. And then you're going to place it into a bowl of water and let it soak in for about 5 minutes. Once your quote is ready, I got a popsicle stick and rubbed off all the excess paper, and be very gentle for this part because you don't want to rub off the ink. It should look something like this, and then you can stick it onto your pencil and you're finished. Well, that was the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, go check out my DIY K-pop School Supplies BTS edition. I will leave a link down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!